There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to a very exciting tier list Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. That means we do a tier list about Warhammer 40K. But today is not one of those days. Today is a special day. As a matter of fact, I have Richard Siegler here with me to talk about Horus Heresy. We have, courtesy of Games Workshop, the Loyal Space Marine book. So, thank you, GW, so much for sending us a preview copy so we can make wonderful content like this. Are you ready to talk Space
This
Marines?
is a thick boy.
This is a big book.
There's a lot in here, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't read through most of it. In fact, John is the expert here, and I'm going to be giving my opinions as I hear these rules.
Absolutely. So we are going to be ranking all 9 of the Loyal Legions. In this book, it gives you all the data sheets for every Loyal chapter, or Legion, and their unique Legion rules. But, Richard, you've been playing a lot of 8th and 9th edition, but you really haven't played a lot of 7th.
Didn't play 7th, didn't play 6th.
This is a blast for the past for all of us, but you played like 5th edition.
I played 5th, 4th, 3rd.
Yeah, so you remember when a Space Marine captain was 3 wounds. Most people remember when a Space Marine was 1.
He's just an average Joe.
Just an average guy, just an average dude. So this is going to be a nice blast from the past for you, but I am really, really excited to talk about all of the rules that we have in here. So if you are just as excited as I am about the Horus Heresy, about Warhammer 30K, please let us know. We're really excited to make content here. So if you are excited about it, please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. We want to see how many people are interested in Warhammer 30K. We want to make exciting content like this for you, but we want to know what you want to see. You know, this is a brand new game, a brand new edition. So if there's something you want to see, you know, share with your friends, comment in the description below. Let us know what you're looking forward to about Warhammer 30K, and we'll see what we can do to get that kind of content made for you.
Yep, I'm super excited because guess what? There's all new models. They look amazing. They have some legendary Forge World models for these, and there's Primarch battles, John.
Primarch battles. And you know what? I'll give you a little hint here. They did announce that they are the next book to come out is going to be for the Mechanicum. Like I know what would get you excited, and it's those.
Why is that not in 40K?
Models.
But yes, they are incredible models. They need to be in 40K,
100%.
so Games Workshop, get on it. But I am stoked for that book.
Absolutely. Speaking of 40K, we do also make a ton of content for 40K. So if you're here just for the 30K part, maybe you can check out our 40K as well.
Yep, definitely. We do all sorts of awesome teaching in the War Room. So if you want to get very good very quickly, head over to the War Room where we have a one-of-a-kind community in the Discord. And there's a link right below in the description called artofwar40k.com/learn more.
All right, let's launch right into it. Of course, we are doing the legions in order. We have to start with the first legion, the Dark Angels. So every legion has their own trait, except for this one. This one has 6. You remember how, you've got Deathwing and Ravenwing?
Yeah.
So there are 6 wings in Horus Heresy. I don't know what happened to them. I think they became successor chapters, but right now there are 6 wings. So every unit, unless it has a specific type attached to it, like some of the special Deathwing units, they get to pick any of the 6 wings. That means that their chapter tactic is choose from a list of 6. And that is awesome because everyone likes options. They're also really good. You can get +1 to hit with all bolt weapons. You can get +1 strength on all your power swords if you're Deathwing. Ravenwing gets a ton of movement buffs and can reroll their Shrouded roll, which is kind of like a feel no pain you get for being like a cavalry unit in cover. That's a big deal, by the way. If you get a 5-up rerollable anytime you lose a wound,
oh, 5-up rerollable. Wow,
oh,
I love
know
that.
What you like.
I would play that.
Absolutely. You can even get rerolls against vehicles or +1 wound against characters. And let me give you some context here, Richard. These are big buffs. I know +1 to hit on a bolt gun. You probably thought that's like an Imperial fist buff, right? No one cares about that. You don't get these fancy chapter master rerolls. You don't get this captain aura in Horus Heresy. Your tactical marine walks out there and makes 1 hit roll with a bolt gun. If you get +1 to hit, this is a big deal, forcing a lot of of saves on someone is a big deal because the wound count in 30k is not what it is in 40k. Tactical Marine is a 1 wound goon with a 3-up save. You just put 3 saves on
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember those days. So if you get +1 hit on a bolt gun, that's a big deal. I think the fact that Dark Angels have so many options here is really going to be impactful, just because that's hard to get. Like, you don't have nearly as many options in Heresy. It's a lot more about the data sheets than it is about, stacking up 3 stratagems and a character and a warlord trait and a relic buff and like your super doctrine. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Are there stratagems in here?
There are not. There are reactions.
Okay.
So I think we should go over the special reaction for each one. I think I scrolled past it impressively. Did I? Yeah, there it is. So each reaction is a thing you get to do once a phase. So I think for each Legion, we're just going to quick go through the Legion trait, the reaction, the Primarch. That's what you need to know right away. So once per game, when a charge is declared for an enemy unit that targets one of the Dark Angels units, the reactive player can take a leadership check using the lowest leadership characteristic of the unit. And if it's passed, they all gain Fearless and Fear, which is -2 leadership to everyone within 12 inches of them. Let me tell you that morale is a big deal in Horus Heresy, because if you fail a morale check, you don't lose a model and keep playing. Your unit moves 2d6 inches towards their own board edge.
Oh, no.
And like Space Marine leadership, it's like 7. Oh yeah.
Is Sweeping Advance back, John?
Oh, Sweeping Advance is back too. That's going to come up right away with the Lion. The Lion is a boss. He's 460 points because he's a Primarch, so you'd expect him to be. But what the Lion gives you, his warlord trait gives everyone +1 leadership. Remember how I said leadership was important? Crusader, you can reroll those sweeping advances. So someone charges you, you're like, boom, I ought to pass my morale checks. Boom, you're -2 leadership. By the way, I've got the Lion, so if you fail that leadership check after I'm done punching you to death with my +1 strength power swords, I'm going to re-roll that test to just kill your unit. Whole unit's dead.
I remember those old days. Wow, that is powerful.
Yeah, the Lion also has a really unique special rule that I've got to mention here. Before you roll the Lion's charge, you can just say, you know what? I'm going to roll an 8. And remember, there's no CP re-rolling these charges.
Does he get pluses to that? Or it's just an 8?
Well, he moves 8, so it's +1 to charge.
Okay.
It's a make a charge move of 8, so I don't think he gets the pluses.
Okay.
But he ignores difficult and dangerous terrain when he does that, but he doesn't get the bonuses for extra moving. But still, when I say, like, if you fail a charge, it's the end of, it's like you're just there. You don't get to re-roll charges. Now, charge bonuses are good if you get them, but if you fail, you're right there. So, Dark Angels, ton of options, all the different wings, pretty good reaction, pretty good traits. They've got a ton of other good named characters as well, and some pretty good unique units. I say they immediately go into strong choice.
I think everything there sounds. When you told me 5-up rerollable, I was sold.
Yep, that's what you want. That's what Richard is all about. All right, so let's go right down the line. My favorite one here, the one I'm going to be playing and painting, the White Scars. White Scars are awesome. If you were playing the old first edition for Horus Heresy, I think towards the latter half of it, I think that the White Scars were right at the top. Now, I unfortunately missed out on that, but you know what? I'm coming back in.
I've never seen White Scars broken.
Yeah, exactly. This doesn't happen very often, but just this once, we're going to do it. So, White Scars, +1 to move army-wide. Just everything's +1 to move.
Solid.
Pretty solid. There's not as much advance in charge. Fleet doesn't do what it used to do. But your movement characteristic can give you charge bonuses. So if this takes you across a breakpoint, because if you move like 5-6 inches, you don't get any charge bonuses. If you move 7 inches, you get +1 to charge. If you move 13 inches, you get like +3 to charge. Suddenly, that +1 move is +1 move and a +1 to charge built in. If you hit the right breakpoints, that can be a huge deal.
Okay, so this starts stacking.
Yep. And White Scars, every time they roll to seize the initiative, that's back. Or for first turn, roll 2 dice, take the highest. So if you want to go first, 2 dice take the highest. You want to seize, 2 dice take the highest. White Scars, they like going fast and they like going first. They are the masters of the hunt.
Going first.
That reaction, by the way, you're going to love this one. You know how I love movement shenanigans? White Scars love movement shenanigans. So once per battle, when an enemy unit ends a move within 12 inches of any model in a friendly unit, I can just move it. As a matter of fact, do I get to move all of them? Let's see. All friendly units with White Scars within 12 inches of that enemy make a normal move. So you move one thing within 12 inches of me, every single White Scar within 12 inches of you immediately moves.
That sounds broken.
That's once a game, but you know what? I'm going to do it.
They finally got close to you because there's no advance and charge, and then you're like, I'm just here.
Yeah, White Scars.
Wait, you get your full move?
Yeah, just
So
full move.
if you get move and jump packs with 12, and then you get +1.
Yeah, I can choose to activate my jump packs to increase my movement. I can't run, but I can do a normal move. Anything. Now, do you want to try to charge White Scars?
I don't even want to get close.
You don't want to get anywhere
I want to
close.
shoot them. I want to bring out the big guns.
Exactly. White Scars have a ton of good rules. They've got some really unique rights of war where you can give Terminators a 5-up feel no pain. Spoiler alert. But, of course, I have to mention Jagged Icon, the Primarch. My favorite model, who I have, by the way, we're going to get that guy commission painted. He's awesome. He gives Furious Charge out to all infantry or cavalry in the army, which is that +1 strength on the charge. That's hard to get. And that's basically +1 to wound when your strength 4 Marines are going to hit any other Marines. And I should also mention, this isn't like you have to get double strength to get to wound on 2s. If your strength is 2 higher than your opponent's toughness, you wound on 2s. So strength 6 wounds T4 on 2s, which means if you have any kind of weapon with a +1 strength and you stack Furious Charge with that, you start wounding Space Marines on 2s.
I assume all the Terminators are still T4?
They are.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you want
tough.
to kill Terminators, you got to put some wounds on them. The Khan is awesome. Of course, as you'd expect, he is a boss in combat, but you know what? He's a Primarch. You expect that. And you can buy him a jet bike to make him move 18 inches.
And it's only 25 points?
Yeah.
Who the heck is not paying 25 points for that?
I'm paying 25 points for Khan to move 18 inches and charge at like +3. No problem.
And he gets an extra toughness? Nice.
Yeah, Jagged Icon is amazing. So, we're going to go right down the line. Remember how I said that...
well, should we...
Oh, you know what? White Scars, hop on the bandwagon. What are we talking
that seems
about?
broken.
White Scars, hop on the bandwagon. You're fast.
Straight up broken.
Yeah.
Being able to move every unit within 12 inches once per game?
I'll mention, any army can move 1 unit like that.
Every time? Once per game?
Once per turn. White Scars can do the normal one per turn, and then once a game, everyone within 12 moves.
Yeah, you just set it up where they're just barely in charge range, and then you're like, do you want to get within 12? No?
Yeah, it's like,
cool,
oops.
I'm just everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Yep.
Oh,
and
it's
you're
just,
so
the
fast.
threat of that is absurd.
Absolutely. White Scars, awesome. Space Wolves. Remember how I said that Advance in Charge is gone? I lied. Space Wolves Advance in Charge. Space Wolves can charge after they run.
In 40K, it's one of the top 3 rules you can have.
Absolutely. And this is one of those things
So
where
it's silly here.
You don't get Advance in Charge. Like Fleet, nope, that doesn't give that anymore. You don't get to Advance in Charge. And the fact that it's actually run and charge. But the fact that Space Wolves can, like, what? So they can run and shoot, which is something you can't do, but they make snapshots at that sweet ballistic skill 6. Consider that no one else gets to run and shoot. That's cool. Run and charge. Space Wolves, right across the front, right like that. But they've got their own reaction, of course. Once per battle in the opponent plays turns, all these are once per battle. What is this? Enemy unit with 1 or more models within 12 inches of a friendly unit is moved. So if you're within 12 and then you move, so after that one has moved, before anyone else gets to move, the Space Wolf player can immediately move a number of inches equal to the highest initiative character in that unit, and then declare a charge. So if you've got like a initiative 5 or 6 Praetor, someone within 12 inches of your Space Wolf unit makes a move. You're like, okay, I'm going to move my initiative and then declare the charge, which means if you go charge kill someone and end up right next to an enemy unit, if they move at all, you're just like, oh yeah, we're in combat now.
So you're charging them in their turn.
Yeah. Whoopsie. Do not mess around with
This is their movement phase?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's getting silly in here, boys. Yeah, of course you've got Lehman Russ. You know he's going to like hit hard in combat, right? You would expect such a thing. His Warlord trait is that he gives +1 strength anytime you charge, which is basically the same as Furious Charge, except in addition, you can make an additional reaction in your opponent's assault phase. Reaction is that thing we actually talked about in that video that Jack and I made, where we broke down the Horus Heresy rulebook and the box set over the weekend. So you should check that one out if you want to know even more about reactions. He's awesome. Lehman Russ is -1 to hit him in just close combat anytime he makes a charge, and he's also weapon skill 8. So if your weapon skill 7 or less, you hit him on 5s, but then he's -1 to hit. So do not get in fights with the Wolf King. Do not try to do that.
Luckily,
you need to be
he's
a
slower.
Primarch. Yeah, he's a mere movement of 8.
But he gets advance in charge?
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, and he's initiative 7, so if you were within 12 inches and you try to leave, it's gonna be hard. Oh, we see some comments in the chat. Black shields are not in this book. There are mentions of them in the edition, so like, pretty sure that's happening, but we're not gonna talk about them today. Space Wolves, good combat army, huh?
Seems darn strong.
Seems darn strong.
I don't know where to put them. It's definitely a strong choice. Is it hop on the bandwagon?
I think it goes to strong choice. I mean, I'm just not going to admit that anyone is ahead of my White Scars, but Advance and Charge might be better. I feel like that, yeah. Yeah?
I'm hopping on
You're hopping on the Space Wolf
bandwagon? I'm on the bandwagon. Advance and Charge army-wide? Oh my god.
All right. We're going to keep going. So, next up is Imperial Fists.
What's the board size in Heresy?
Oh,
is
6
it
by
the
4.
Old 6x4?
Old 6x4, but everything's a little faster than you think.
Speed does matter.
Like, a Marine is a base move of 7 now. Like, it just attacks a Marine's base move 7, a Terminator's 6. So everything's a little bit faster, but you're on a bigger board.
Okay.
Yeah, Russ isn't infantry, so you cannot advance in charge. Infantry can advance in charge. Still,
all those
amazing.
jump pack units, they're going.
Yep, and yeah, there's a ton of Rights of War that can give a lot of bonuses. Like Fleet 2 makes you makes you run even faster. Imperial Fists are exactly what you think they are. They do bolt guns really good. So what they do is they get +1 to hit with all auto and bolt weapons all the time. Just whenever you rack, just every bolt weapon, +1 to hit. That's really solid. I think that's actually not that's good, because remember what I said, you don't get that normally. Like, that's not just a thing you can put, like, have a captain give to a squad.
This is what Dark Angels get for if they're a particular...
Dark Angels can get that as part of Stormwing, yeah.
Okay.
So this is basically similar to that, but they get a lot more different things. So their reaction is once per battle during the movement phase. Basically, the reactive player can declare a charge whenever an enemy unit ends a move within 10 inches. So, same thing, you get to go charge people, and if the charge is successful, you get all of your charge bonuses, and you get Hammer of Wrath, which is you do like a number of hits equal to your strength characteristic, blink, when you charge them, for the number of models. So another go charge them out of sequence. So Space Wolves is if you try to run away from Space Wolves, they move towards you, then charge. If you try to run up to Fist, they're like, well, fine, we'll charge you. Pretty solid.
Okay.
They've got some great Rights of War that I'm going to mention, because what you can do with some of these unique units that they have, I'm going to go to the unique units. I'm not even going over Dorn. Dorn's cool. You know, he's cool. Whenever you charge him, you lose your +1 attack bonus. You're always disordered. He does all these cool things. But you can give Breacher squads, and especially their special Breacher squad, re-roll their invulnerable saves.
What's their invuln?
It's a 4-up if they're all base to base.
Reroll before ups?
Yeah, because normal Breachers re-roll their saves against heavy weapons, or against blast weapons, and like template weapons. But Imperial Fist Breachers, they're going to re-roll their invulns just all the time. Yeah, you want like a little phalanx of like Shield Marines with power axes just walking upfield, re-rolling their 4-up invulns, and then you put a Praetor in front with a 3-up invuln, and he's re-rolling his invuln.
There's re-rollable 3-ups?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're back.
No.
And you know what? One more thing for Imperial Fist. Sigismund is a boss. You know the Emperor's Champion?
Yep.
The first Black Templar? I'm not going to read all those rules, but let's just say, if you're a character and you see Sigismund, look at your move characteristic and move that many inches away from him. Because no one beats Sigismund in combat. He's just, if you fail a save against Sigismund, you're dead.
Instant death?
Instant death. He's got instant death on everything. He is +2 to sweeping advance rolls.
Oh no.
So
you'll lose your whole squad.
Do not get in combat with Sigismund. He's a boss. Imperial Fists, you know what? I think all these legions are awesome. I think we're hopping on the bandwagon.
Let's
do it.
Rerollable invulns?
Yeah.
Where are we putting them in there? Just leave them
honestly, I was going to go straight at the top.
Yeah,
Love
that seems
some White Scars, but
I assume Volume of Fire isn't quite as powerful here, guns-wise.
It normally isn't, but then just remember that like the wound count is a lot lower.
That's fair.
So like,
but I mean, re-rolling your invulns, there's not enough good Volume of Fire saves.
It's hard to get. Volume is so good because of that. Do Imperial Fists still have a 2-up reroll cover with Fearless Banner Fortification? I don't think so. But I actually don't know the fortification rules yet. So, I'm not sure. We're going to keep going down the line. You know what? The 9th Legion, the Blood Angels. Yes. I know you're fond of Blood Angels. Jack Harpster was with us today.
I can't wait.
He'll be here next week, don't worry. You would expect some good things here. They keep their +1 to wound. And to a minimum of 2+. And anytime, and that's even if they make a disorder charge. So if your +1 attack on the charge, but if you charge 2 units or your opponent has a rule, you might lose that if it's a disordered charge. 2 plus, so +1 to wound on the charge, even if it's disordered. So that means your opponent can't stop you from getting that, which is awesome. And again, you just +1 to wound. It's just as good as you think it is, right?
Yeah, it's amazing in
+1 to
40K.
wound
I bet
is
it's amazing
awesome.
here.
It's good whenever you can do it. This one, their reaction here is a shooting phase reaction. So the Wrath of Angels here. Let me just make sure I got this right. Okay, so models in the unit targeted by this shooting attack gain the Shrouded 5+ special rule against all wounds inflicted. And if you already have Shrouded, it does not stack. So you just get Shrouded, which is just basically like a 5 feel no pain when you get shot.
Okay, that's pretty
just
darn good.
Still pretty solid. And the reacting unit may have a... and then you get to charge. So after you get shot, you get a 5 feel no pain, and then you declare a charge at them. It's once a game, but like... You don't want to step up to some Blood Angels and be wrong, you know?
Exactly.
You want to see what Sanguini does, right?
I really do.
You really do. Movement of 8, but he can activate his Great Wings to change his movement characteristic to 14, including getting that bonus charge. So, it's just casual +3 at that point. He hits in combat, as you'd expect. Weapon skill 8 is about as high as you reasonably get. But with Duelist Edge, he'll even be better in challenges, because you can challenge again.
Okay.
Oh, you probably don't even know.
No, I didn't even get
Oh,
challenges.
yeah. Anytime there's 2 characters in a combat, one of them can declare a challenge. If the other one accepts, they just fight each other. And if he declines, he steps to the side, and the guy who declines does not get to fight. So he doesn't get to make attacks. So Sanguini's steps up. It's like, hi, would you like your captain to be removed from the battlefield at the initiative 6 step? Or he can step to the back, not make any swings, and Sanguinis beats up his squad, and you don't get to use the captain's leadership. So those are your choices. Sanguini's going to come kill you. His warlord trait is that all friendly models of Legion Astartes that either deploy as part of a deep strike or have a jump pack gain +1 weapon skill whenever they charge. So let me tell you what +1 weapon skill matters. You need to hit the other person's weapon skill. You got to compare this. So you don't just like go in with weapon skill 3 and hit on a 3+. If your weapon skill 4 and someone comes and hits you with weapon skill 5, you're worse, so you hit them on a 5. You go so like a Space Marine go punch a Space Marine, they just both hit on 4s. +1 weapon skill means you go in, you hit on 3s, they hit on 5s.
Then you've got +1 to wound.
Then you've got +1 to wound. Do not get charged by jump pack Blood Angels.
Okay.
You know what?
And you just have to have them on the battlefield? It's not an aura or anything?
No. There's auras. This
Nice.
is like 6th or 7th edition. All friendly models in the same army.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. Yep. So, Blood Angels, still going to strong choice, I think. They're real good. Honestly, all of these are real good so far. We don't need to wait for Custodians. If you like a Legion, play it.
I haven't seen one that just didn't feel like it did much.
Yeah, no, tons of options. All right, we are getting on to the Iron 10th, the Iron Hands. Let me see, so many pages in here. So,
What's their trait?
their trait is basically that you are -1, all shooting attacks against this that is not a vehicle is -1 strength. And then they get it will not, and then if you're a vehicle, you get it will not die, and if you already have it, you increase it by 1. So it will not die is you at the end of any turn where you aren't at full wounds, you roll a dice not on that dice value, so it will not die 6 up, it will not die 5 up.
Okay.
You gain a wound or a hull point.
Okay, that's actually
So
pretty
-1
solid.
strength to all shooting weapons coming in, huge. And it will not die means the vehicles are just always auto repairing. So if you don't one-shot them, they're gonna just kind of slowly climb back up.
Maybe it's because I haven't seen the guns, but I feel like most of these are pushing towards melee, getting in combat with each other.
Yeah, well, guns are still important.
So
That reaction
different.
is it's the Gorgon Spite. During the opponent player's assault phase, when they declare a charge, once the active player has resolved all charge rolls for the charge unit, but before they, before any models are moved, the reactive player may make a shooting attack with the unit that has a charge declared against it, and all shooting weapons making twice their normal number of attacks, but getting gets hot. So what if, when you got charged, once a game, you fired Overwatch at full ballistic skill twice, but with gets hot?
So one's kill the model?
No, one's you have to take a save.
You take a
Yeah,
save.
it doesn't just kill him. It's not, there's no mortal wounds here. You take a save, and if you fail, you die. So, kind of a big deal, but you can't do it without a line of sight. The unit targeted by the Gorgon Spite attack may not take cover saves. Oops.
Okay, so your defensive bonuses are...
Yeah, that is, they're tough. They're tough. I feel like it's not very fluffy to play Ferrus Manus in Horus Heresy because there's about like a solid 10 minutes of we're in the Horus Heresy, Ferrus is still alive. So, I'm sorry, everyone. But if you want to use Ferrus Manus because he is kind of awesome. He doesn't have this giant page of special rules that all the other ones have.
I'm seeing a little...
He has a 2-up armor and a 3-up invulnerable save. So 3-up invulnerable, which, again, hard to find. All those other Primarchs had 4s and 5-ups. 3-up for Ferrus Manus. How did Fulgrim even kill this guy? And that Warlord trait is that all infantry in the same army as Ferrus Manus gain 6-up Feel No Pain, and all vehicles gain It Will Not Die at 5+.
So on a 5+, they gain wounds.
Yeah, remember how all your vehicles get +1 to their It Will Not Die? It's
So
a 4+. So your vehicles in the whole army are just fixing themselves really well. And you know what? That's pretty cool. 6-up Feel No Pain also, just a little bit of a thing where, again, 6-up Feel No Pain is hard to get.
So there's similar 40k guns, but no obscuring terrain. Okay, so it's just easier to shoot people.
Oh yeah, it is just easier to shoot people.
Okay.
All right, I think Iron Hands are good. They don't inspire me the way some of the others do, but having better vehicles that heal makes this a shooter.
How good
army.
are the vehicles?
Well,
How good are dreadnoughts?
Oh, dreadnoughts are awesome. Dreadnoughts are amazing because dreadnoughts don't die to instant death. Dreadnoughts aren't an armor value facing anymore. They are like a 40k dreadnought. So like a Contemptor is like a 6 wound thing at T7. T7 gets wounded on 6s by bolt guns. So like dreadnoughts pretty good.
Dreadnoughts
Vehicles,
healing.
pretty good. Yeah, like I honestly think that this is a solid one, but I still am a little less excited about Iron Hands than some of the other ones. Also, Iron Hands are the only Legion that doesn't have a named character besides the Primarch. Everyone else has at least one, like, here's your first
It seemed
captain.
lighter on the pages.
Iron Hands seem a little bit light. They've got really good units. You know, the Medusan Immortals are leadership 10, when that is almost impossible to find. And they have, they're not that expensive. 205 for 10 models is pretty good when they come with breaching shields. And they have a 5-up Feel No Pain, but, like, still, I'm not as excited here. Oh, yeah, you know what? Good points from Hellstorm Wargaming. -1 strength from incoming fire means that bolters cannot hurt dreadnoughts. Because if you're T7 and someone is strength 3, you don't even get to roll a wound. You just don't. And that means a strength 6 gun that wounds them, goes to strength 5, wounds 1 to 6. Strength 5 wounds T7 on to 6. So, like, you can do some really good, like, yeah, I'm just hard to get shot. But I think it's less dynamic, just better math.
Yeah, that's fair. How does the mission play in Horus Heresy?
That's the other thing, is that only like line, which is their equivalent of OBSEC, gets to hold objectives. So it's not like if there's line and no line, the line unit wins. If there's line, they hold the objective. If you're not line, you can't hold it even if you're the only one there. So going all dreadnoughts is awesome, but if they're not line, they don't hold objectives. Okay. So good.
So you want your basic infantry to be quite strong.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
And the -1 strength does make them very resilient to shooting. So if you get to turn the game into a shooting battle, very good at it. And then with a very strong Overwatch, they're better than most. That reaction means that charging a good shooting unit is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's just double tapping right there. And also, by the way, you can only charge units in line of sight. So there's no hiding out of line of sight to not get wrecked by that. Once a game, you're getting shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a big deal.
I know what you were thinking. They're like, you can charge from behind a wall.
Yeah,
No,
just
you cannot.
use terrain. Oh, you can't.
No, yeah, you can't do it. I think bottom is a strong choice. They're still pretty good, and like I could see, we haven't played any games with Iron Hands yet, but I could see that math aspect of I'm way hard to shoot. I'm gonna Overwatch really hard, and I'm healing, and I'm a little tougher than you think. I could see that being really, really good still. So maybe this is one that people will discover later on.
Yeah, speed and the mission
function,
playing is
though,
going to be the biggest.
That's what I like the most. I like getting my troops around and keeping them alive. So let's. We've got 3 legions left. Let's go to the Ultramarines, who are so much cooler here.
Get them in.
Yeah. So their trait is that you get +1 to hit if the unit that you're shooting at has already been targeted by an Ultramarine. And again, +1s to hit, like in the data sheets, they don't exist. Like you can use like special Legion rules, but this is like the only way to get and it's just all units, by the way. It's not like infantry. So you can get your tanks +1 to hit. And that is a very difficult thing to get normally.
Okay.
So this doesn't affect blast and barrage weapons. And if the attacking model is within 6 inches of a model from the friendly unit. Okay, so you have to be within 6 inches of the unit that procs are +1 to hit. But still, just built in, you can just have a tactical squad shoots and now the tank shoots. Okay, a tactical squad shoots here and now the tank shoots. So they get good synergy, which is kind of what you'd expect. Yeah. So solid shooting buffs here. Again, we're getting into some of the more gun-heavy legions. Their advanced reaction is, again, that once per game during the opponent's shooting phase, when an enemy declares a shooting attack that targets an Ultramarine unit, once they've resolved all hit, wound, and armor saves, but before you make any damage mitigation, like feel no pain, or remove casualties, you can expend this reaction to have that unit targeted by the shooting attack, and one other unit composed entirely of Ultramarines to make a shooting attack targeting the unit that triggered this reaction.
Just shoot back.
Yep, so once a game, the Sons of Horus shoot an Ultramarine unit. You roll your hits, your wounds, your saves. Before you take feel no pains or pull casualties, the Ultramarine unit that got shot and one other one just turn and shoot that unit. Getting in a shooting match with Ultramarines, not something I would recommend. They shoot. They're good at it. You can't use ignore line of sight stuff for that. Template weapons can only be used greater than 8 inches, and then they use the Wall of Death, which is just D6 automatic hits instead of placing the template. But still, that is really good. Just Ultramarine shoot. Great relics, of course. Good access to some Rites of War things. Good unique war gear. Guilliman. I love Guilliman.
How is Guilliman here?
Guilliman, honestly, not bad. So at the start of each of your turns, the controlling player may choose one of the options. Let me see, does everyone get this? All models in the army get Fleet or Counterattack or Furious Charge or Stubborn. So and you can't choose the same one twice in a row. So Fleet is +2 to your run. Counterattack is +1 attack even if you get charged. Furious Charge is +1 strength on the charge. Stubborn is you ignore leadership modifiers. Okay. So if Guilliman is alive, he picks one of these to give it to the entire army. And you can go back to them. You just can't do it twice in a row. So really solid. And then if Guilliman's on the table, he gives all Ultramarines a +1 leadership as long as he's not dead. And an army with Guilliman must select one of the following phases: movement, shooting, or assault. You get to do an additional action as long as Guilliman is alive in that phase. So you know how you can normally do one reaction each phase. So like one unit can move away, one unit can fire Overwatch in the charge phase. Those are some examples. This is 2 units can in one phase, and all these warlord traits have one phase picked. Guilliman gets to choose his phase, and +1 leadership. Then you start stacking Stubborn in. Ultramarines don't give up.
Is your initial impression that you're going to see Primarchs often, or are they a little too pricey?
My initial impression is that you aren't actually going to see Primarchs that often. Okay. They are very good. It's not because they're bad. I think it's actually kind of a community thing where the community was like, okay, like the Primarchs aren't on every battlefield at once. Don't bring a Primarch in every game. That's actually kind of like the community leaning more into the lore aspect of it. From a competitive standpoint, if you want to look at Heresy that way, I think the Primarchs are perfectly viable because they're expensive, but it's one of the rare ways to get army-wide buffs. And also, they hit. If one person has a Primarch and the other one doesn't, that player gets to win all their fights. Because the Primarch goes in, challenges their best character who isn't a Primarch. That guy's like, if I accept, I'm dead. And then the Primarch starts murdering his friends. So, we'll see. I don't know how viable they are, but we do have a super chat we have to go through from Fluff, Crunch, and Mini. Thank you so much, Fluff, Crunch, and Mini. This is only the Loyal Legions. We do have the Liber Hereticus as well. It's in the room right over there. And I guarantee we will be bringing that one out very soon. But we wanted to wait for Jack to get back from a well-earned vacation because he is just so excited about word bearers. We couldn't do it without him.
Yeah, and I also have a complete disdain for chaos.
Absolutely. Anyone who betrays the faith of the Emperor deserves to be cut down and butchered as traitors and heretics that they are.
Yeah.
So are we covering the Alpha Legion? You know what? They're unfortunately not in this book, so wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll talk about them next time where they're pretending to be traitors. That's how that works.
The reason I asked about the Primarchs is, yes, they give good overall buffs, but if you're not running them, then they don't really benefit the strength of your army overall.
Yeah.
So I can see it. Like a quarter, 2,000 point list, I assume? Or is this like 1,750? Or?
Usually like 2,500 or 3K.
3K. Okay, I like that a lot more than yes.
Yeah. He's not quite as much of a.
He's not a quarter.
Yeah, he's not like the Silent King.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're playing, 3,000 points, I could definitely see running one of these guys.
And like the way the pricing works in Heresy, just for you, is that like things that are not good are a lot cheaper, and good things are a lot more, obviously. So like a Tactical Marine is only 10 points, which is like, oh, that's so much better than like a Tactical Marine in 40k. A Rhino is 30 points. But Rhinos evaporate immediately. Tactical Marines evaporate immediately. Whereas like you can take a Terminator squad that's going to run you like 280 points for 5 guys, if like one of like the custom Legion ones, and that is actually a fair price point because they are so much better than a Tactical Marine.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
You're paying the points to make sure they survive.
You're paying it, but it can be worth it. As you'd expect, Ultramarines have some pretty good unique units, just like everyone else.
No Tyrannic War veterans?
No Tyrannic War veterans yet, unfortunately. Those come later. So where do we actually drop Ultramarines? They are good at that shooting war. Honestly, I feel like we're putting everyone in strong choice because like none of that was bad. Like shoot with 2 Ultramarines when you get shot. Golem provides solid buffs. I still don't think that they're not as exciting to me because they're not quite as dynamic until you.
Maybe we should pull them down because these two seem pretty. This
pretty
one has
on par.
This one has better defensive buffs. This one has better offense.
Yep.
It seems so.
Fully
These
agree.
vehicles stay alive longer. They have better offense. But it doesn't seem. I don't see anything about playing the mission here, and I assume you need to score points to win Horus Heresy.
You still need to score points.
You don't just murder the other person.
No, you'd like to, but you do still want to score some points.
I feel like being on your opponent's half of the board easily is probably still going to be stronger.
Yeah. All right.
Talking about another defensive army.
Salamanders. You know how they're tough. It's what you expect.
Promethean Will.
Yeah. Whenever you make a wound roll against a Salamander with a Flamer, Melta, Plasma, or Volkite weapon, reduce the result of that wound roll by 1. Does not affect the strength, just the wound. So the strength is the same for like instant death and stuff. In addition, all models in here that have multiple wounds gain it will not die 6 up. So that helps. And yeah, as you'd expect, Salamanders are tough, and they just don't care about getting shot by flamers.
By your special weapons.
Yeah, on all the special weapons. So just a clean -1 to wound looks kind of awesome, but it doesn't work on things like bolt guns, so you'd probably want to take units that don't care about bolt guns. So like I would love to see like a Terminator army, where it's like, oh yeah, plasma, because plasma, by the way, is AP4 rending, but it's rending on a 4+, so if you roll a 4+ wound with plasma, then goes to AP5, so that -1 to wound means that it's now on a 5+. Does it actually get that bonus AP?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Does this work on vehicles? Or is it just infantry?
Because it's wound rolls, it doesn't affect vehicles because you don't roll the wound against vehicles. But it would work on dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts, by the way, is where that seems amazing. I think Salamander dreadnoughts could be really, really cool. So they've got that reaction, of course, like everyone else. Once per battle during the opponent's phase of assault phase, when an enemy declares a charge that targets the Salamander player. If the enemy's unit charge is successful, all models of the infantry type of the target unit gain +1 weapon skill, strength, and attacks. And in addition, all models, roll a d6 for each model remaining in the unit that made this reaction. For each dice that scores a 6 or more, the unit suffers 1 automatic wound against which no saves or damage mitigation rolls of any kind may be made. Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, go ahead and explain.
So if they charge you, +1 weapon skill means a normal weapon skill 4 goes to weapon skill 5. And again, if you have a lower weapon skill, you hit on 5s. Then +1 strength and +1 attack. So if you get charged, this isn't like, oh, I'm going to do something before, This is like, yeah, you can charge me, but like, just once a game, I'm going to make it hurt way more than you think, and you're not going to do nearly as much as you think. So +1 attack and +1 strength on the swing back. Suddenly, like, Tactical Marines have double the attacks with +1 weapon skills, so hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s with twice the swings. Like, any unit could get scary here. And because of initiative values, the charging unit doesn't just fight first. If it's, if you're both coming at the same weapon skill, the Salamander unit, even if they get murdered, +1 weapon skill, strength, and attacks means that when you hit back at the same initiative step, you are punching way harder than you think. So, good in combat buff here when you get charged. Interesting way to do it. Vulcan, of course, we've got to go through the big man himself, as it will not die 4+. Oh my goodness. So if you have Vulcan, everyone in your army gains stubborn, and you get the additional reaction in your opponent's shooting phase. Stubborn is, of course, ignore morale negatives.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. And he's another tough guy with a 2-up armor save and 3-up invuln. And Vulcan can reroll armor saves against flamers and Volkite. So if Vulcan, pardon me, is in the front of a squad and he's the one taking wounds, if they start shooting flamers and Volkites at you, he's just like, I have a 2-up save and I'm going to reroll my fails. Do not try to kill Vulcan with a flamethrower. It's not going to work.
And it will not die as the healing?
Yep.
So it just goes off on a 4-up.
On a 4+.
Okay.
Yes. So, we do have a super chat from Matt O for $5. Thank you so much. Do I have my Stormseers and Keshig painted up, Sean? Heresy is looking kind of tempting to play a bit of old school 40k. I do actually, I have my Keshig. They're not painted yet, but we're getting there. I need to convert a Stormseer. It's like the custom White Scar Librarian. Really, really excited for that. I haven't started painting my Heresy yet. Got one more project I've got to crank out here with the Art of War, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But absolutely, we will be painting that up pretty soon. So actually look for some hobby hangouts with me and Jack. That'll probably be coming in the future as well, once we've gotten some more of these models in.
Yeah, and the models look gorgeous. The Forge World ones especially, like those special Terminators, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about where Salamanders are going here. It's a little situational. I don't like that their durability doesn't work in like melee at all.
That's what I was saying.
Now, that reaction is good.
If you look at the top armies, or what we think might be the top armies, they're very melee centric, so they're not throwing tons of Melta and whatnot at you, so you don't really get your main defensive bonus.
Yeah, they've got some good unique.
Speed's
units.
still going to be an issue here unless they have.
You can always take fast units, but there's no buffs to being Salamanders for them.
Yeah.
I'm just a little worried that like against some weapons, like laser weapons or bolt weapons, it's like Salamander's just a Marine.
Yep.
And then if you go hit them with the Thunderhammer, just a Marine. So
I think they might even be here.
They might
even be a little bit flawed.
Yeah. Now we'd have to break down their unique units a little more, so there's still some hope for Salamander players. Not even worry. And also, this is a very fresh take that we are just reading for the first time.
Yep. Just trying to give an impression.
Absolutely, but first impression, Salamanders felt a little less dynamic.
I feel just niche.
Yeah, really does. So. I think I'm good with that. We've got one more, of course, hiding in the shadows. Ravenguard is still so cool, actually. So models with, so they're another, let's see, based on its unit type and war gear. Okay, yeah, so this is one where different types of Ravenguard units get different types of things, depending on if they're...
Hey, you said Dark Angels are the only one.
I really thought they were. I guess I didn't make it all the way to the back of the book. So Talons, Falcons, and Hawks are their 3 things. So let's, here it is. So if you're all Talons, which is going to be like a jump pack or are not heavy, so not Terminators, anything jump pack or Tartarus armor gains Talons. So that means that they get Shrouded 6+, which is like a 6 that feel no pain if you're more than 8 inches away. And they all gain Infiltrate. That's actually really good.
Infiltrate, I assume, is just the forward deploy?
Yep, that's... So
they can just start on top of you?
That's really good. That's strong. If they are Dreadnought or, or Infantry and Heavy, or, again, Falcons, okay. And then the last one is for Cavalry and Vehicles. Okay, so so non-jump pack. So this is like your normal units. They get Falcons. May reroll failed wound rolls of 1 in an assault phase in which they make a charge, even if it's disordered. It's like a Lieutenant Aura. That is, again, something that you are not seeing very often. That is rare. So Talons is... I apologize. Talons is non-heavy, non-jump pack. Falcons is the jump pack, non-heavy. Okay. That's still pretty interesting there. So... Infiltrate for the non-jump pack guys. That makes a lot more sense.
Well, that helps. It means your jump pack guys are now being able to keep up.
Because you have to kind of have your troops, or your line units, which is normally troops, actually be doing the scoring. This is a big deal.
What's the last one for the heavy units?
The Hawks, so this one is for the heavies. You gain Shrouded 6+ on any turn in which you run, move, or flat out. Okay. Or if you already gain Shrouded, it is 6 up, you instead gain Shrouded 5 up. Okay, so basically if your vehicles and stuff are moving fast, they're going to get a little more defense, like a 5 up 2.
So in the early game, you can get that extra defense as you move up the table.
As you move up table, yeah, that's okay. So solid. Their reaction here is once per battle during the shooting phase when you shoot at a Raven Guard unit. Before you make the shooting attack, the unit targeted by the shooting attack makes an immediate move of a number of inches equal to their initiative in any direction and gains shrouded 4+ for the remainder of the turn. If the shooting attack is no longer valid, then the active player may not select a different target.
Talking about broken rules,
that is a good one.
broken.
Raven Guard hard to shoot, and it's not against an infantry unit. It's against a unit. Now that's once per game.
Still, it's a game-winning move.
Good. That could be a game ender. If they bring out their shooting unit, you're like, just this once, you cannot shoot me. But even if you do, I've got the 4-up field of pain against shooting with shrouded 4+. Super solid. Okay, that is Raven Guard are tricksy.
Yeah, that infiltrate on their normal units seems very strong as well.
Yeah, and of course you've got Corvus Corax, who's actually relatively cheap for a primary at 440 only. 2-up armor, 4-up invuln. He gets shrouded 4+. Okay, shooting Corax, bad idea. Do not do it. Ooh, someone is mentioning that there's a 3-up invuln I missed on the Salamander Terminators. That would help him a lot, actually. Let's talk a little bit about Corvex here. So, if Corvus uses hit and run, then you can roll an additional dice to determine how far you go, and maybe roll failed shrouded results of a 1 made for Corax and all models in any unit he has joined. Ooh, that's tough.
Imagine you pop the 4-up on the unit that turn. Now you're rerolling 1s as well.
Yeah, and his warlord trait is that he gives Raven Guard, Scout, and Crusader. Scout moves. I like Scout moves.
So you can infiltrate and then Scout move, or
I think that there's I'd have to recheck. I think there's a limit that infiltrating units can
there better
scout,
be.
but everyone else is just like a little Scout move after like the start of the game.
Oh, you know how much I love my little Scout moves.
I know you love your little Scout moves.
This is sounding amazing.
Yeah, Raven Guard sounded pretty dang good, and of course he has a jump pack, so he can choose to move 14 inches instead of 8. And if he's 14, he also gets the charge bonus. Because why wouldn't he? So okay, that. I think I was a little tired the last time I read Raven Guard because I don't remember them being that good. But oh, buddy, that is good. Also, 25 points for a 2-wound. The More Dethane squad, and the Dark Furies are their. 25 points for a 2-wound jump pack marine with double talons. That's really good. Dang. Okay, Dark Furies too. So strong, unique units there. All right. Let's put them on the table, and then let's look at where this was. Yeah, Raven Guard, the Dark Fury squad looks real interesting. Okay,
honestly, this feels like
bandwagon.
Might even be the strongest one.
Yeah. Wow. So
every one of their army-wide rules seems very strong.
And no, we didn't go through every rule here. This is an initial take that we wanted to get in here, but
just mostly focusing on their core stuff.
Yeah, but that is super solid. I actually really like that.
Hold on, go to their generic warlord trait. We haven't gone through all the warlord traits.
Brady is saying that we need to look at the generic warlord trait for. Actually, real quick, we should address these super chats real quick.
Yeah, so we got a £5 super chat from Mr. Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. Great to see Heresy on the channel. Quick 40k Heresy question: what do you think of the Kratos rules for 40k on Warhammer Community?
Let's look at those at the last thing we do. If they just post them on Warhammer Community, we will go look at them.
I have not seen them yet.
I love Warhammer 40k rules. I haven't seen them yet either, but when we're all done here, Matt, thank you so much for your support. We will go read those Kratos rules.
Yep.
The last thing we do.
And then we got a $5 super chat from Shackleton Mangrum. Thanks so much. He says, I want to convert a Chaos Primaris Wordbearer army, but I also want to run it as a proxy army in Horus Heresy. Would people feel offended and not play against that?
Heresy definitely has more of a leaning away from competitive towards the narrative and the hobby side. So I think this would be a case of talk to your local group. So Shackleton, if you know local people who are going to be playing Horus Heresy, honestly, I would talk to them and see how they feel about it. Me personally, I just love playing Warhammer, 40k, 30k, doesn't matter to me. I'll play anything you want. So if you me personally, if you had a red painted army with some Primaris models that had a bunch of chaos spikes and they'd been corrupted, and you told me those word bearers, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. Especially if it's an army that you clearly have put some care into. I know that the Heresy scene has a little bit more of a look down on Yeah, I just took TableWar and spray painted them white. I know they're in Mark 8, but let's pretend this is Heresy. I think, though, that anyone in Horus Heresy is going to respect it if you make it a labor of love. So if it's something where you care a lot about the hobby side of this and you're going to invest in making that army look good, I think people will be willing to play it because everyone in Heresy likes the lore. You know, that's a lot of the reason why people get into Heresy. So I think talk to your local group to find out, but especially if you make it look good, most people let the rule of cool slide as long as you're making the effort.
Thanks so much for the super chat.
Yep, we really appreciate that.
Let me grab whatever this.
Yeah, so I think he was looking at the Raven Guard Warlord traits. I think he was looking at the Hidden Hand. And the Hidden Hand is that while your Warlord is in reserves, the controlling player may choose to reroll failed reserves rolls. And when he's deployed on the battlefield, everyone in the Warlord and his unit gain Fleet 2. So what, by the way, rerolling reserves, you have to roll for your reserves again because, you know, why wouldn't you? But a big thing that should be mentioned here is that you can charge it a deep strike, like 100%. You can just deep strike and declare a charge. And you don't, like, just go 9 inches away and declare a charge. You place them wherever you want, roll the scatter dice and declare the charge.
Oh, scatter die or back.
So, like, if you, like, just deploy a little aggressively and you don't scatter wildly, you can just go hit people. So if you reroll your reserves to come in for the whole army, then that could be a big deal.
The excuse me whole army?
Yeah, let me just, okay, yep, that's pretty good. So, yeah. Real quick, looking at this power ranking, how do we feel about it right now?
I definitely think
Raven Guard seemed really good.
pretty-
I like the top 4 I like a lot.
yeah, the extra speed of that advance in charge is just
Honestly,
silliness.
Yeah, and Lee Morales is such a brawler.
Their flexibility is nice, but I don't think any of it is
None
up
of
to
it's
here.
quite as focused as those top armies.
Blood Angels do a particular thing
Yeah.
and do it very well, and they have the speed to get across the table. These ones are, I think this is going to come down to like what extra warlord traits and special units that they have,
Yep.
because I don't feel that they're going to outplay somebody on a mission here scoring points.
Exactly, yeah. And if your defense is a little situational, then you get the wrong situation. And then it's
So, Horus Heresy, there's no obscuring terrain, but there's light cover, dense cover type of stuff.
Yeah, but light cover only kicks in if you it doesn't boost your armor save. It's if you don't get your armor save, you can take the cover save instead. So it's not as good as as in 40k. Light cover is not as important here.
Okay.
So
Maybe something like that's why I put Iron Hands up here, because it might want strength incoming weapons. That's just a great. You've seen it with the Mouse Scepter. You've seen it with some of the other 40k stuff. It's just absurd.
yeah, and it's even better in Horus Heresy, I think, because there's -1 strength is almost always going to change a wound bracket because it's no longer just be double to get 2+, it's be 2 higher. So it takes a strength 6 weapon from wounding a Marine on 2s to wounding on 3s, right, like that, where it wouldn't have an effect in Warhammer. So, yeah, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. But the chat did request that we look at the Kratos. So, Richard, you just pulled the data sheet up. Let's see what this big boy does.
So this is basically.
So this is 40k now, but it's worth it.
It gets a 40k data sheet.
So
it's normally a heresy tank, I assume.
Yeah.
So
Quick, what's the points?
it's 320 base points, 10 extra for a multi-melta, 5 extra for a hunter killer.
320 for most of the options.
It's basically a 18 wound land raider with T8, 2-up armor
Heavy
save.
support. That feels already better than like a 40k repulsor, because it's got a 2-up save and more wounds.
It comes with an autocannon, the Kratos battle cannon, and 4 heavy bolters, which you can upgrade to a variety of weapons here.
And all of those look like, let's see, it has Martial Legacy, so if you take it your -1 command point, like a lot of the Relic Forge World weapons, so this seems like a Forge World data sheet. And then, let's just see what some of these do. Ooh. So the battle cannon can be either D6 plus 3 shots at 7 - 2 3 blast, or 1 shot at D3 plus 6 damage AP 5. All right, if you want to, that's kind of cool.
It looks okay.
fine,
It doesn't stand out because it's just a giant vehicle.
Yeah,
it
it's
has
just a
smoke
shooting
screen
platform.
accents.
Yeah, it looks like a good shooting platform, but it doesn't look like it does anything else. There's no buffs it gives anyone else.
Yeah, it's just a big chunky vehicle. It's going to need some sort of extra defensive bonus, depending on what trait you go for, chapter.
Seems perfectly respectable. I mean, you could also take a Melta blast gun. It looks like
That one looks. How do you get the multiple?
that just replaces the battle cannon.
Okay.
So that's 4 shots at 36. So it's like 4 Melta shots at 36-inch range. That's a good gun. I don't know if that's like so exciting. I'm going to pay 320 points to get it in.
Yeah.
But it is very tough. I can see that in Iron Hands. where you just get it hitting on 2s, you're rolling 1s with -1 damage and a
Give it the
every
+1
turn.
save.
Yep, that could be a real problem to deal with. It's just not trying to be anything else. But
So it could be something like instead of running the Land Raider Achilles, you run
something like the Kratos, yeah, because it can also take 4 Volkites, which basically makes it shoot as hard as a Volkite Dreadnought with a bunch of multi-meltas on a really tough platform. So interesting, pretty interesting there. But I don't think that the Kratos looks like it's going to be insane or anything.
No, I don't think we're going to be seeing this everywhere.
All right. Well, I think
So,
that
This was basically a quick and dirty kind of go through some of the key rules for each army, rank them, and kind of give our first overall impressions. What do you think about these overall, John?
I like how different they all feel. Where, I know the joke is like Horus Heresy is just Space Marines or Space Marines. Anytime, you've got like the 40k meta in a joke, it's like, just go play Heresy. I like that they make all of the different chapters / legions feel distinctly different. They do the same thing for the Trader ones, so I'm really excited for us to come back next week and talk about them. But overall, really, I'm just excited there's so much variety, and like it feels so important to have your unique flavor and build around it. It doesn't feel like you're going to take a list and just be like, this is basically the same thing as if it was Imperial Fists or like Salamanders. It feels like every Legion is going to be really building around what makes them unique and using their unique units. So I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to get like some of my White Scar like jet bikes and land speeders zooming around the battlefield. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm excited. We're going to be doing more content on the Horus Heresy, especially if people enjoy this and diving deeply. Like I said, this was kind of like a high overview type of situation, but we're more than happy to do specific reviews of each faction, go into all the data sheets, and talk about list building.
Guaranteed, I'll be diving a little bit deeper on White Scars. I could do 2 hours on just White Scars, but for right now, we just want to get a quick look at all the Legions and kind of see how we're feeling about them going into it.
Yep.
So thank you so much for watching this, everyone. I really appreciate your support. Again, if you're excited about the Horus Heresy and this kind of content, please let us know. Make a comment below. Let us know what you want to see in the future. Share with your friends. Let people know that we're branching out into 30K. So if you enjoyed it, we really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.
I can't wait for the AdMech rules. I'm going to get hyped for that.
Yes, AdMech rules. It's the models.
They're
Any
gorgeous.
Excuse to get
the
those.
Ordinatus, John.
Oh, the Ordinatus. How much do we have to super chat to get Nick to get shot by an Ordinatus?
I have nothing because I'm going to make it happen.
We're going to
anyway.
make it happen. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We will catch you later.
So long.
Bye-bye.